welcome to this video. So there is a full moon lunar eclipse, a partial eclipse that is happening in Aquarius on August 7th, coming up here tomorrow. So this lunar eclipse is going to be a time where we are revisioning or rethinking what our dreams are, what our vision is for the future, and what our individual role is going to be in a community or in society or among humanity. And so we're really rethinking all of this stuff right now, especially because Uranus just went retrograde in Aries on August, well, according to this, it's August 2nd, and that's Pacific time. I wrote down some notes. So anyways, August 2nd is when Uranus went retrograde, and this has definitely been a time where maybe some more spontaneity has been coming out in people and more time for reflecting on, you know, who have you been, who do you want to be, and really trying to break free of any stagnation within who you have been. So you're really letting go of any shell that has been holding you back. It may have been a comfortable shell for you to reside in, a person who you felt comfortable being, but now it's like you just are getting sick of being restricted in that shell. So it's a time for reflecting on who you are now, who you want to be, and breaking free and being more spontaneous and sometimes even erratic in some ways. So there could be some of this sense of people being more erratic than normal, and especially coming out during this lunar eclipse. So erratic behavior, unexpected behavior, kind of like crazy stuff coming up. Definitely a crisis time, of course, because it's an eclipse. So like some crises among maybe friends or among who you are and who you want to be and your dreams. So definitely the dreams are involved in this whole thing. And what, you know, maybe there's old dreams you're hanging on to, but how can you revise those dreams to really allow for who you are now to come through? And this lunar eclipse is also opposing Mars and Leo conjunct the sun. So our egos are really coming forward. We're becoming more expressive of ourselves and expressive of who our, you know, what our ego wants, what our, what creativity we want to express. So, of course, Leo is very proud of its work, so amazing things could come through, but of course, you could be maybe over prideful about stuff at this time. But ultimately, it's just great for being very expressive of who you are now, and that is like all what it's all really about right now. And then we've got a trine going on too with this lunar eclipse to Jupiter in Libra. So, and that's within 2 degrees, and Jupiter is also square Pluto right now too. So anyways, with this trine to Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter in Libra is helping us to look at our beliefs and all of that, and our beliefs about who we have projected ourselves to be around other people, especially because a lot of what this Jupiter in Libra energy has been like is kind of like really overcoming the projections of what other people have believed you to be and that sort of thing, like especially other people in your life, like one-on-one situations especially. So you're expanding beyond that projection. And with Jupiter in Libra as well, it has challenged us to become more open-minded about other people's ideas and to maybe listen to other people more about what their beliefs are and try to expand or try to understand or put yourself in other people's shoes. But of course, Saturn has been set in Sagittarius. So Saturn in Sagittarius has been very rigid about beliefs. So like our opinions are the only thing that, you know, we believe or whatever, you know, like, you know, we've been very strong in our own opinions because of this Saturn and Sagittarius, almost too rigid at times. And it is creating this sense of separation between differing beliefs. Like, there's this group, this group, this group, this group, you know, believing this, believing that, believing this, believing that, you know, and like then there's been like some difficulties in those things at times, and also a lack of expanding. And so this Jupiter in Libra is trying to get these groups to like, hey, what's going on this side, you know, like, let's try to open our minds to this side of it and like see why the hell they would believe something like that, or, you know, that kind of thing. So anyways, hopefully that's going to be bringing out a better side to our philosophies and ideals and everything like that. But anyways, with this eclipse, it is kind of going to bring about maybe the weird ideas and differing ideas and beliefs about differing things, especially, you know, more new age ideas or even aliens or extraterrestrials and technology and where that's headed. A lot of innovative ideas could be coming forward, and maybe even ideas about how to create more unity among differing people and how to create more harmony in the world, so that maybe the future looks a little brighter. Because, you know, it's interesting. I was just watching something last night by Greg Braden. I had already watched it once on YouTube, but I watched it again. And they were talking about, or he was talking about how during times of conflict, there's also great like solutions to problems. Like during these peaks of when the sun is like, you know, I don't know, like sending out intense energy, then like it's, you know, people, like everything we do gets bigger at that time. So that could be conflict or it could be more innovation. So of course, when there's great problems in the world, great ideas do come through because people are focusing on that. They're like, okay, how can we fix this problem, you know? And that could be a big thing coming up, especially with the Jupiter square Pluto, because Pluto could be pointing out some of the issues going on. And you know what I wanted to actually bring up about this as well is that during this time of Capricorn, it's like a lot of like Pluto in Capricorn especially, but Saturn is about to move into Capricorn really soon. And when there's this Saturn conjunct Pluto thing, it's going to be even more intense in some ways. The pressure will be on. There's a need for purification, as the Native Americans put it, that basically we're going to be going through an intense time of needing to become extremely authentic and not as focused on what the outer world will bring to us, because that's part of the message that's coming through these people who have been committing suicide, public figures committing suicide. Like, you could have everything in the world going right, and yet if you're internally struggling, there's nothing in the external that will make you happy. And that's like the biggest message of these people doing this, you know? And I feel like there is kind of an internal process happening of depression, and Capricorn does rule depression. Saturn also, you know, Saturn rules Capricorn and it rules depression. So this internal pressure is going to be upon us, especially when Saturn does move into Capricorn. And what it's preparing us for is being as radically true to ourselves as we possibly can and listening to that inner voice. In spite of all the amazing things that could be going on in the outer world, there could be still the internal struggle. Or maybe you're not feeling the sense of self-worth because you're not achieving all these things in the outer world. And so you're going, you know, mean to yourself on the inside about these things while, you know, just trying to find that happiness outside of yourself. But the truth is, happiness is found within, and you have to be grateful for everything you do have and everything that you are currently in. The now is all that matters. But that's like a huge, you know, I mean, and Saturn rules time. So, and you know, so it's also about reaping what you sow in your own time. So appreciating the time you're in is a part of what this Saturn conjunct Pluto is going to be about. But anyways, as we move through that, and Capricorn, so like when you're looking at the chart, Capricorn's at the very top of the wheel. So it is reaping what we sow. It's seeing the culmination of things that we've been doing, whether it's good or bad. And it's a turning point when you think about it, you know, it's at the top of the wheel. So then things are about to move this, you know, like it's like, okay, this whole cycle is happening. This is the top of the wheel. And then this is, you know, where we're going to go from there. But the Aquarian age, I feel, is going to be really starting once Pluto moves into Aquarius, and that's when we're going to be like seeing individuals coming together, creating community, and creating the dreams that we have been wanting. But there's still going to be some other stuff to contend with, obviously, because with Pluto, there's always going to be a dark side that you got to deal with. But anyways, I kind of want to talk about that for a second, just because there has been intense, like, depressive energies coming up lately, and I feel like it's important to remember that even though right now things could be kind of difficult in some ways, there is always hope, and Aquarius also rules hope. So there will be hope, and I believe that to be true. So hold on to hope, okay? Because that's part of creating reality, is being like aware of the positive, being like hopeful, keeping the positivity alive, because that's what helps us to continue to thrive. It rhymes. All right. So yeah, and then another thing I wanted to tell you guys about Jupiter square Pluto. So, dude, this has been weird, and you guys have witnessed it because you've seen my Thanksgiving video and another video where Jupiter is square Pluto, and if you're on my Google Plus page, you'll see that I recently posted another video that alludes to this similar message. But anyways, what's been weird for me is that every time Jupiter is square Pluto, okay, so first I talked about Thanksgiving, how, you know, Native Americans and pilgrims, you know, were, you know, coming together to share a meal and to be grateful and stuff. And then I saw this post on Google Plus with all these buffalo skulls, and basically they were just slaughtering these buffalo. The white European people were slaughtering these buffaloes. Anyway, and they were ultimately just trying to starve the Native Americans. And that's just like the opposite of, like, you know, Thanksgiving, right? And then recently I came across a video, and they actually mentioned something about Thanksgiving, but it's like something they always did because they believed everything was sacred. So they were just grateful for everything that the world provided them. Everything that they killed, everything that they ate, they gave thanks for, because they knew that everything was sacred. And so I was just like, whoa, like, that's weird. Like, just every time this Jupiter square Pluto thing was happening, you know, I came across something about Native Americans and Thanksgiving, or like something like, you know, to that nature. So anyways, I just wanted to share that because I think that's pretty weird. And I guess part of what I wanted to do was kind of like try to interpret that so it was a little more, you know, universalized or something. Part of what my ideals are is very much how the Native Americans lived. Like, I idealize that, you know, I think that that was the right way for us to be, is living in nature and, you know, doing things in a very respectful way with nature. But I know that nowadays it's a lot more difficult to do that, but I think it's still possible, and I do see cool stuff, you know, on YouTube about people trying to do things the right way. And I'm trying to kind of do stuff like that by starting gardens, but, you know, I digress anyway. So I feel like this is kind of where our karma and our ideals are kind of like coming together, and there may be some like things that we need to figure out, like especially revolving around materialism or you know, wanting to live in harmony, right? So like, you know, this like kind of maybe a clash between this materialism and wanting to live in harmony. Mercury in Virgo is opposite Neptune in Pisces on this lunar eclipse, and so yeah, this actually kind of alludes to that whole thing where Mercury in Virgo is kind of about bringing your ideas into reality. It's very good at, you know, taking care of tasks, making lists, organizing things, keeping, you know, it's a good manager. So basically, all these Neptunian ideals, these Neptunian dreams that are in the ethers, they're like floating around in the ethers. Sometimes it's hard to like bring them down to reality, but Mercury in Virgo helps to bring that maybe confusion or chaos sometimes, like this like Neptunian daydreamer over here, down into reality to help bring things into a more realistic state and kind of sort things out and figure out the details so that these amazing intuitive things can be realized. Mercury is about to go retrograde in Virgo, so it rules Virgo. So this is a good time to actually go through some stuff that you've been meaning to go through, sort through old things, organize old things, and maybe even get rid of some old things too. Like, well, especially for me, because Virgo's in my second house, that's probably why I'm interpreting it that way. But it could be that you're just sorting through paperwork or sorting through ideas, or just kind of like dealing with old things, revisioning things and revising things and changing things up. It's a great editor too, by the way, Virgo is. It sees exactly, you know, what needs to go in a situation. So it's able to edit things really well. Okay, anyways, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I do appreciate it. Have an awesome time.